Welcome back here to a new edition of the LosAlamitos.com preview show. I'm your host, Jose Contreras, alongside the voice of Los Alamitos, Mike Wrona. Michael, welcome back to the program. A little bit of a hiatus because of the cancellation last week, but happy to be back.
Yes, indeed. We had Saturday night washed out. A lot of the 2-year-old races were scheduled then, and trainers had the option, and many took the option to do a gate work instead on the Friday morning before the rains came. And that keeps them ticking over on the schedule that they preferred leading into the kindergarten futurity trials in another couple of weeks from now. But we've got a whole new lot of 2-year-old races tomorrow night.
Yes, so a lot of the names that ended up doing all the prep work there for the Nightlines edition. So a lot of those 2-year-olds, we have notes on them already when they decide to come back and wheel back. We have a fresh stack of 2-year-olds making their debuts this upcoming Saturday night. We'll have 4 baby races to be exact on Saturday night's 9-race program. Speaking about the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity Trials, those are scheduled for Sunday, April 21st. Sunday, April 21st is when the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity Trials are scheduled, so that's just a few weekends away till we get to those trials. So, all right, let's talk about your selection for this weekend's preview show. It is a 9-race program. You're going to take us to the first leg of the Pick 6, race number 4. Talk to me about the horse you like there.
It's an open race. It's a condition-claiming race for 3-year-olds and up at 300 yards. Diamondback is my pick coming out of gate number 7. The horse won 2 in a row when dropped into the claiming ranks last year, a maiden race in September, and then the non-winners of 2 in November. From gate number 7 in the field of 7 with Panfilo Alegria, who gets back aboard for the mount on the weekend. So let's take a look at that replay of the win from November for Diamondback, who came down the outside and did the job quite nicely.
Yeah, he won almost at 3-1. That was a healthy price, and he broke well from that outside post.
And Carver John Cash from gate 4, ducking in a little bit at the start, ends up finishing 3rd in this race. They will be next door neighbours in the gate in Saturday night's race. But it was Diamondback down the outside with a clean trip, finishing the race off very strongly. And that was Carver John Cash in 3rd place, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now that result between the pair was reversed on February 18 when Diamondback was drawn inside Carver John Cash. And on the occasion of that February race, the 18th of Feb, Carver John Cash had gate 7 in the field of 7 and won, beating Diamondback. So they've traded results, and it's kind of gone the way of the horse who was drawn outside the other horse. They're both 7-2 on the morning line. This time, Diamondback gets the better of the post position draw, and he has the outside stall number 7. Realistically spotted. That race in February was his first since the November race, whereas Carver John Cash had been racing a little more regularly. Diamondback was a little antsy before the start of that February race. Maybe he can just improve a little bit coming back to the outside gate. And with the jockey who won on him in November, Alegria, back on board. The chances don't end there, Jose. It's a good open race. Bravery number 5 is the morning line favourite. Was very good last time out. I liked his performance when finishing a close 4th. And he has impressed on several occasions. But he's just a little risky, isn't he? Out of the gate, he can find trouble. He's not the most reliable, consistent beginner. And even though he looks really well spotted from a class standpoint here, I'm just willing to risk him. But if he breaks, he probably wins. Even Go Popo Go is of interest to me from gate 2. This horse has been having some difficulties early in her recent races, but if she can begin better, and she used to begin consistently fast and has won before, coming out of a 110-yard race up to 300 yards. I think she's got a value look as well. And that's not even mentioning Mr. Wade, who will be in the following segment with yet another horse in this field that he thinks is worthwhile.
I believe all 3 of us might have different top selections in this spot. I submitted the price of giving a hood before as a horse that can break much better. I think if you dig some of the form up and down this field, you're going to find good enough efforts to talk yourself into some prizes in this race.
Yes, well, matter of fact, since you mentioned Given a Hoot, I made a note of her first start at Los Al last summer. She did not have a local gate work, I don't think.
No, she
at
had a
least not.
turn work.
She had turn and work, but she didn't have a gate work. And I
Yeah.
thought that the close third when favourite was a pretty solid effort. Of course, since then she's been racing in allowance company, and so this is a better spot for Given a Hoot at good odds, and it might be a case of the all button required for some of these horizontal wagers. But
Yeah.
I'm just leaning the way of Diamondback because of the outside gate being in his favour, and I think it's a nice spot for him to find a winner's circle again.
Yeah, if you can just repeat that effort like we just saw in the backtrack, you'll be right there based on that trip. And I believe this might have been Pamphilo Alegre's first ever win. I know he accumulated 3 over the last year. This might have been the first one, but nonetheless, he won a perfect race with Diamondback back on November 5th. That's your selection, Diamondback in race number 4, start of the $2 pick 6 with a 9 race program on Saturday night. So
I trust your. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's exciting to have the 2-year-olds in display already because, of course, we'll be talking kindergarten trials in just a few short weeks.
Yeah, there's just a sprinkling of 2-year-olds coming back for their second start already. Just 3 or 4 across the races for Saturday night. I'm always attracted to 2-year-olds making their second start. They can take a step forward, but it's very early days in the season. Interesting to see how they shape up this weekend and whether they can then turn around 2 weeks later for the kindergarten futurity trials.
Yeah, so it'll be 2 weeks. Yeah, so we're 3 weeks for the trials. It'll be 2 weeks after this week's races. So yeah, a lot of these will be making the turnaround for the kindergarten trials. All right, Michael. Thank you for joining us. Good to be back. Good to see you. Good to talk to you. Anything else for the viewing public?
Well, I'd just like to hear a little bit about your adventures, Jose. I trust you're feeling quite refreshed and invigorated coming into this weekend because you've been on a family vacation. And,
we did.
I know that you were on a cruise ship, but I also note from your postings on X that you visited Gulfstream Park.
I did, and I came this close to taking down the mandatory pick 6 on Sunday. So we got off the ship on Sunday morning in Miami. And of course, we have a day free on the town. What am I going to do? I'll head down to Gulfstream Park, of course. So I went out to Gulfstream Park, and lo and behold, they had a mandatory payout in the pick 6. I took a swing at it, Michael. I was 5 for 5. I was single to the last race to hit it. 5-1 morning line, got bet down to the 8-5 favorite. Perfect trip. Looked like that horse could have won, but just did not have the extra late gear. Ended up finishing 3rd. So I almost had the pick 6 to pay for the whole trip, but it was a good trip. The kiddos enjoyed it. It was a nice cruise, great weather. We went down to the Virgin Islands, the Caribbean, Puerto Rico as well. It was a nice cruise, and it was a profitable one. I had a nice night at the casino out there on the cruise.
Well, from the video clips and photos that you were bombarding my wife with, I think you might have had more than one good night in the casino on the ship.
I was even able to get my son AJ into a match race. I shared a video on X, on Twitter.
I was going to ask you about that. I wanted to know was that on the ship?
It was on the ship. It was a quartet. So it was kind of like a training race. You know, 2-year-old seasons. We're in the spirit. AJ broke well, got the lead midway, and then kind of got caught late. I think he'll be much sharper second time out, like 2-year-olds second time I tend to do.
So the bankroll manager, Mrs. Los Ponies, was the gate attendant.
Yes.
And then you had one of your daughters at the finish line.
Yeah,
from what I could make out on the.
I had a great crew. They were the ones signaling him. The bankroll manager was out there at the gate crew, and he galloped out well. He was galloping back and forth, so AJ did great.
Do you know that I once called a baby crawling race at halftime in a Chicago Bulls game at Chicago Stadium back in the mid-90s when I was working at Arlington? It was a promotion that they had, a novelty event to entertain people during halftime, and they had me come out to announce this baby crawling race, but they had to crawl from one parent to another.
Yeah.
And there were first, second, and third prizes. The winner was like the cigar of or secretariat of babies crawling, just blew them away. Won by a huge margin, but the second and third took forever. I mean, they were turning around and going the wrong way and wandering about. But I had to keep ad-libbing because they had a second and a third prize. I remember saying at some point that the judges will call for an oil painting to decide the minor placings.
Yeah. So this was back in the 90s. You're talking about working in Arlington, right?
Yeah. I was at Arlington 2 summers in 96 and 97. Got to call Cigar's record-equaling win when he tied Citation's record for consecutive victories. And who knows, I might have kicked on there for a long, long time thereafter. But in 98, they closed the place for a couple of years in protest at riverboat casino legislation that they didn't think created a fair playing field for Arlington. It was a protest against the riverboat casinos. And so that was kind of the end of my tenure at Arlington, but it was a beautiful, majestic place to work. And you never know. If they didn't close for 2 years, I might have been there right until they tore the place down recently.
Yeah, I visited Arlington in 2013 for the big card, the Arlington Million Cards. It was a beautiful facility. I truly enjoyed, back then, and enjoying a day at the races out there. It was a terrific facility. It truly was an international international race course. So sad to see that one go. But thank you for reminiscing about your days down at Arlington. But yeah, it was fun to be back. Good to be back here, and good to talk to you. Hopefully, we get excited moments here with the 2-year-olds as we look forward to the kindergarten trial. So we'll leave you with that. Best of luck with your selection, and I'll talk to you next week.
Good on you, mate. Hooroo.
Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse. The Los Alamitos early and late pick fours. Both wagers continue to feature outstanding pools in 2024 and terrific payouts. The early pick often has pools of over $180,000, and the late pick four often has pools of more than $150,000. And remember, Los Alamitos still offers the $10,000 pick six promo on Sunday nights. Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos. Play them on Saturday and Sunday nights.
That's right. The pools have been strong. Thank you to our horse players supporting the Los Alamitos program. And they're about to get even stronger with the addition of the 2-year-olds, which always brings promises, Chris, but also could bring some chaos, some long shots that really wake up when they make their races compared to the workouts.
Yeah, we had a horse. You get a horse with shows ability, but has a good amount of trouble in the debut. And when they come back, that effort over the racetrack in racing in a race wakes them up, and they just improve immensely from first start to second start. And
and they'll be
we got some good ones going this weekend here.
For sure. We have 4 2-year-old races, like we mentioned in the previous segment. In 3 of those 4 2-year-old races, there's one horse making their second start. So watch out for second time improvement in 3 of those 4 baby races. All right. So for some reason, we all ended up with an opinion in race number 4. You're taking us to race number 4 as well. And this is the start of the pick 6. So the pick 6, we're thinking could be a difficult scenario to navigate as far as the beginning leg. So race number 4 is where you're going to give us a selection and 300 yards, conditional claiming tag of 20,000. What do you want to highlight?
Yeah, I'm going to give the 3-horse Corners Vader a look at the outcome. This horse is got a talent. He's just a little bit trouble-prone runner, but this horse, like you said, had some trouble last time, was finishing fairly well, and ran a pretty good race to be a pretty good second at the same level. And actually, was a $30,000 claiming now in for 20, but still, this was a pretty good effort. This horse is a little bit trouble-prone, but this horse gets away clean. Has a look at the outcome at a nice price. It's my price play in the racing card, in a closely matched affair, a decent start. It puts this horse right there early and late, and a little bit of price there in that closing event, the early pick 4.
So here it is, closing leg of the early pick 4, beginning leg of pick 6. Here's a replay for Corners Invader. This was back on March 3rd. He had the outside post. The eventual winner, Earthquake Magoon, was a class dropper that had one very sharp win and was finally dropping back in class, and he was a horse to beat, and he proved to be too good for them. But Corners Invader ran well from the outside post.
Yeah, this horse got a little fractures, kind of back bobbled, and then skied. Was running a little bit head cocked sideways and kind of lugging in right here, and was under a hand shove. Was asked a little bit. This horse leveled out pretty well the final half of the affair. It ran a pretty good race to a well-met winner that night. You said Earthquake Magoon was dropping down in class and was a very good second. It was starting out nicely during the wire. So this horse get away clean. Has a look at the outcome there at 5-1 in the program.
Yeah, and Earthquake Magoon actually went off at 5-2. So, but he was considered one of the main contenders, one of the favorites in that spot. You can see 3-4 horses between 2-1 and 7-2. So no shame in finishing second at 12-1 that day in a blanket finish. You had the outside post. You had now gate number 3, but you're probably going to get every bit of that price of 6-1 on the morning line here.
Yeah, I think I am with this horse. Like I said, this horse gets away clean. He's got to look at the outcome there for Felix Gonzalez and Jonathan Roman.
So a slight drop in claiming price from 30 to 20. It's still a pretty high claiming price, but based on that race, you're clocking 1572. You deserve here another look. A lot of these horses haven't won in a while. You see the 1-1-3 starts back, the 2-1-4 starts back, but that was back in December. Corners Invader hasn't won, at least I can see in the page. Give It a Hood hasn't won since her Wyoming days. So some of these horses are looking to kind of get back into top form.
Yeah, and this horse, like I said, that was a $30,000 race. That was against Open Company. Now went against, I think, non-winners of 3. But the horses look at the outcome with anything close to a decent getaway.
All right. How's Remington Park been treating you? You've been doing the selections there on the Nightlands program and LosAlamitos.com. What's to come in Oklahoma?
Yeah, we got races. We're doing races 4 through 12. And we like a horse. Our best bet on the program is actually 4-1. It's a 9 horse. I can't remember the horse's name, but it's noted on there. Chris picks best bet in the program, but the horse is post number 9, and horse is 4-1 in the program. So check out the Los Alamitos website and or the program where our selections are at. And we got some good ones going posted there. No baby races this Saturday evening of racing for Remington Park, which is hasn't been the case thus far this season. But you got some horses with some race experience and some troubled trips. You might get a couple prices there along the way. That's
good. All right. Thank you for that. Christopher Wade will be handicapping Los Alamitos as well every single night from the paddock. We'll give you his insights and selections. And, of course, check out his write-ups on the simulcast signal, including Remington Park, at LosAlamitos.com or in the print edition of the Nightlines program, which you can also buy digitally at LosAlamitos.com and download it in digital format as well. All right, Chris, best of luck with Corners Invader. We're all going against each other. We all have a different top pick. So let's see who wins. It'll be a shame if one of us 3 don't get the winner in race number 4.
Yeah, we should. Somebody should get the win there in the closing leg of the late pick 4 and kicking off the pick 6 there. It's a closely matched affair, and we might get a little bit of price along the way. We'll see how it closes out that early pick 4, but you got a closely matched event in that 4th affair.
Yeah, you like the 3, I like the 4, Michael likes the 7. So let's see who gets the job done, and maybe some bragging rights, who finishes ahead of each other in that race number 4. All right, Chris, have a good rest of your Thursday. Thank you for joining us. And I'll talk to you down this weekend at Los Alamitos.
All right, but you got it.
Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse. The Los Alamitos early and late pick 4s. Both wagers continue to feature outstanding pools in 2024 and terrific payouts. The early pick often has pools of over $180,000, and the late pick 4 often has pools of more than $150,000. And remember, Los Alamitos still offers the $10,000 pick 6 promo on Sunday nights. Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos. Play them on Saturday and Sunday nights.
A brand new weekend of racing here at Los Alamitos. Welcome back here to LosAlamitos.com preview show. Jose Contreras on this side. Orlando Gutierrez, Professor G, our Director of Marketing and Publicity at Los Alamitos. Welcome back, Professor. Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Jose. It seems like it's been quite a while since we last raced here at Los Alamitos. A rare weekend off here at the Track of Sunsets and the Stars. But we're going to see some stars, some young stars this weekend, Jose. 27 juveniles will be racing. A couple have already made their first start, but quite a few of them have not. As we drew a card last Saturday that we were not able to hold because of the rain, there was, I believe, 32 juveniles that were scheduled to race. They didn't get a chance to run. We did have workouts on Friday, the day before we canceled the race, and 19 of them came back and posted works. And something a little bit different on that Friday, we had some sets with 4 runners, 4 horses in those sets, kind of like a mini race, kind of like those training races that they have at Ruidoso and Remington. So if you want to see something a little bit different as far as workouts, go check out our website, losalamitos.com. All the gate works from last Friday are already up there, Jose.
Sounds good. Looking forward to that. And yes, those 2-year-olds want to get ready, get some either a race or a training race or a workout in preparation for the Robert A. Dare Kindergarten Futurity Trials, which are coming up. Well, it's 3 weeks from now, but it'll be 2 weeks after this weekend of racing. Yeah,
that's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah, we're approaching the start, so 2-year-olds are in full display already. And yeah, rare weekend off because of the weather, and also, traditionally we don't run on Easter Sunday, so it ended up weekend off. So, to everybody watching, hope you had a lovely Easter if you celebrate with your friends and family. All right, Professor, baby talk. Baby talk. You got Professor G's notebook in the Nightlines and losalamitos.com. Both you and I go over these workouts, and we give a little bit of thoughts and comments and try to help out some of the horse players there as much as we can. So how about we preview some of these workouts? We'll look at beginning at race number 5. Race number 5 will be the middle race. There's not a late pick 4. It will be race number 6, but this does begin a mid-card double, and it is part of the pick 6 as well.
Yeah, Jose, and I went to the outside horse number 6, Whiskey Talking, a filly by Flying Cowboy 1-2-3. What a tremendous season that sire had last year, Flying Cowboy 1-2-3. And Whiskey Talking, the mother's breeding, not just a standout breeding, but the breeder himself of this female family, Mr. C.R. Potts, won the Champion of Champions here at Los Alamitos in the mid-1990s with a horse named My Debut. My Debut, I believe, was the final Champion of Champions winner, trained by the great Blaine Schwaneveld. Of course, Blaine Schwaneveld won so many Champion of Champions, won a couple, I believe 3 with Refrigerator himself. So My Debut from the great family of Mr. C.R. Potts. In the 6th, Whiskey Talking here. Let's take a look at this workout. Jose is going to be traveling with another horse that is also running on Saturday night. It's a 3-horse set, and Whiskey Talking will go from the middle. We'll go 12-4. And take a look at the beginning of this work, because it's not going to be a great start for Whiskey Talking. Hits the side of the gate, leaves a little awkwardly, kind of behind there, but now settling to a nice stride here past the gap. And it's going to search nicely at the midway point, finish very powerfully. Almost caught the inside horse, but then look at this gallop out, Jose. I thought it was a pretty good gallop out, an excellent gallop out. I thought the effort was pretty gutsy considering how poorly she got going. And at the time, 12.4, the 3rd fastest of 13 drills this morning, March 6th.
And you can tell when those workmates kind of met each other right at the finish line, they both engaged and wanted to fight and gallop out through the turn. So it was a pretty nice finish by those pair of runners. That's Whiskey Talking in race number 5, the middle horse. We'll replay that workout in the next race, because that's the workmate Apolitical Wave coming up in race number 6. So that's Whiskey Talking, 12:40, third best workout that morning.
So we'll go ahead and move on now, Jose, to race number. Oh, you know what? Before I move on to race 5, I think I gotta mention the 5-horse, Majestic Boots. And if you look at this sire, Jose, Czar Cartel MV, out of a mare by the name of Pink Boots RM, who was a champion, AQHA champion filly, won the Governor's Cup Derby here at Los Alamitos, made over $139,000. But the thing about Czar Cartel MV, the breeding on this horse, Jose, is from the family of a couple of great sires. PYC, Paint Your Wagon, and Ivory James are in the breeding of Majestic Boots.
And so the dam ended up winning the Governor's Cup Derby for the same exact connections, jockey, trainer, owner, back in 2010. She has produced 3 winners from 5 starters, but no debut winners. There's some nice pedigree there if you dig back deep to the dam side as well. So Majestic Boots is in gate number 5. One more workout to highlight here is Terrafina. Terrafina is going to be the 2-horse in race number 5. And this workout for Terrafina, she's on the outside of this 2-team set. This is for owners M&G Farms for Valentin Zamudio and Ruben Lozano. She's going to move in a time of 12:60, so she's on the outside. Clean break, not as quick as a workmate. She begins to kind of float out just a bit. The workmate on the inside will highlight that one coming up next. But after that, you can see the rider kept pretty quiet, and she finished with some late interest on her own. So Terrafina, solid workout at 12:60.
Yeah, I thought her head was turned a little bit when the gate opened, a little awkward there when the gate opened, a little bit slow, a little bit choppy early on, but then just kind of made up a little ground on the workmate Play Fair, who, as you mentioned, we're going to kind of take a look at that, and I believe she has some issues of her own, Play Fair, that we can go through. But Terrafina, a little bit green there on the gallop, but from a really good family. Her mother, Terra Fire, was a finalist to the Golden State Million Futurity, and they all go back to Terrific Energy, who was a Grade 1 winner here at Los Al.
Yep, the very good bloodline there. The dam, like you mentioned, finalist to the Golden State Million, also finalist to the Los Alamitos Oaks. This will be her first starter, though. No foals to race. This one will be the first baby out of Terra Fire. Let's go over to race number 6. These all going to be 220 yards. Field of 7. A couple of workouts here to highlight. Who do you want to start with here?
How about the favorite, number 2, Apolitical Wave, Jose? The mare, Wave Her Down, won the 2018 Ed Burke Million Futurity, made over $400,000. What a nicely bred filly Apolitical Wave is. Sired by Apolitical Jess, and like we mentioned, out of that Ed Burke Million Futurity winner, went 12-4. And like we mentioned, worked also with Whiskey Talking. Let's take a look here at Apolitical Wave, working from the inside post. Relentless Susie completes the trio here from the outside post. Really fast into her stride, Apolitical Wave. Good explosion right away. Very easy ride. Wasn't pushed at all. And she kind of finished under an even quieter ride than she was traveling midway through. And like you mentioned earlier, engages there on that on those last few strides there. Third fastest of 13 works there, going 12-4.
Yeah, you can see right when the workmate got up to the neck, she was like, "Oh, I'm not going to let you by." So that was a nice work, very nice work for Apolitical Wave. Sold for $75,000 at the Ruidoso Select yearly sale. We know these breeding lines very well. Lots of winning siblings here for this one. One of the best sires in the sport. And the dam went 3 for 6, banked nearly $500K. She won the Edinburgh Million.
Yeah, she had a couple of nice efforts in the other $1 million futurity trials, but that victory in the Edinburgh Million, definitely the highlight of her racing career, and was campaigned by some really nice connections. Jay Pitcher, longtime assistant trainer for Paul Jones. He does the training at the ranch. We know Roque Gonzalez is the trainer here at the track. Jay Pitcher did a lot of work with Paul Jones horses at his ranch. Paul Jones.
So up next is going to be Playfair. So Playfair is the workmate of Terrafina, who was in race number 5. So Playfair is going to be on the inside of this workout. So we already saw the focus on the outside. Focus on the inside. She's going to break in and then float in sharply towards the rail. She's difficult to ride, but she's accelerating on her own. And once she gets to the rail, you can see the rider is always leaning back, kind of holding her back. She's got some nice, quick, fluid strides. There's some gauge speed here for Playfair, who ended up with a time of 12:50.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, Jose. I don't know if she bobbled just a little bit leaving there, but definitely lugged in badly to the inside. Had a big lead at the midway point, but yeah, she was just struggling a little bit leveling out. You can see the rider, had a big hole, just trying to kind of keep her as straight as he could, and that kind of made her lose her momentum, I think, and a little bit of her lead. She's going to break now from post number 4. So away from the gate, there's going to be horses around her. That should help her.
Yeah, it should help her. I think she's definitely a major contender in her debut. She showed some quickness there, and I like the pedigree. I separated this out of Enjoy the Walk as well. She was a graduate of the Los Alamitos Equine Sale, sold for $35,000. One more workout in this field to show here. It's going to be Alexia Check on the outside for EG High Desert Farms, Mr. Gonzalez and his team over there. A homebred by Corona Check out of Letty Bell reaches out. We know that mare very well. And Alexia Check here was on the inside. So on the inside of this 2-team set.
Yeah, full sister to the restricted grade 1 winner, Bell Check, who earned over $247,000. She swings her head a little bit from one side to the other before the start. Broke a little slow, had a little slight hop, but she made up good ground, and she's there on a good path. I like the way that she kind of stayed there straight. She had a horse right next to her, kind of crowding her a little bit, and she finished nicely. Showed a good fight during her gallop out as well. I mean, you can one of those things that you can see that she wants to be right there with that travel mate, Jose, the entire way. I thought it was kind of a sneaky good workout, considering that she did not have the best of starts, but again, showed that fight the entire way, Jose.
I like it. I like that she was not used for much in that spot. She was doing a lot of that on her own. She wanted to keep battling. She didn't want to give the workmate to go by. A lot of things to like. She kept a fairly straight path as well. So yeah, it's a very fairly professional 2-year-old, and that was only the first recorded workout. And she seems to have a good mind on her own. So she could have gone faster than 1280 given back on March 1st. All right, let's go to race number 7. And we do have a horse with experience. That's Mr. Tuesday in this spot. But the highlight workout in this field has got to be Maverick on the outside.
Maverick on the outside. Sold for quite a bit of money at the Ruidoso yearling sale. Over $90,000. $90,000, right, Jose?
Yes.
That Maverick sold for. This horse has had 3 gate works already. We're going to see the third of these gate works. So a horse that comes in with some gate experience. And he's going to go from the inside horse. The outside horse, Elizabeth Alexandra, is also racing on Saturday night. There he goes, Maverick. He stood pretty perfect there, came away swiftly, angled a little bit to the inside, level at the gap. But you can see he's flying nicely there under a hand right in those first 150 yards. It looked really good down the lane. Nice, quiet finish to the workout there, cruising in that gallop out. And again, working with a standout, I think, in Elizabeth Alexander. You can see her in between horses just flying there in that gallop out, Jose.
Yeah, you can tell Maverick, the rider wasn't an easy hold. Actually almost standing up in the second half of that workout. So Maverick, pretty nice workout in 1240. Appeared to could have been gone faster. Mentioned the pedigree by Corona Cortada, just significant. They paid $98,000 for him at the Ruidoso Select yearling sale. And this one is the dam went 5 for 15, banked over almost 420,000. She won the Ruidoso Futurity, and she finished 5th in the All-American. Siblings Professor, significant card. We remember that one. And also Turca earned 6 figures, 370,000 to be exact. So good pedigree. That's why he sold for nearly 100,000.
Yeah, significant hard. Won a grade 1 race here at Los Al, champion as well. So, and just significant has had a lot of nice runners here over the years. A very, very productive mare, very productive rumor.
All right, one more baby race to highlight here will be race number 8, which is the start of the late double, another 220-yard event. Field of 7. Right now, the morning line tabs as Fear and Fridays is a like 2-to-1 choice. We also have Elizabeth Alexandra, who we just saw in that workout. We'll review that workout. But there is a horse with experience. That is Victoria Lake, looking to improve second time out.
Yeah, ran against a pretty nice filly, and You'll Fire again, who looked really good there. Victoria Lake trailed pretty much the entire way. We'll go ahead and take a look at the inside horse, Fear and Fridays. But the workout we're going to highlight is Elizabeth Alexandra. Like we said, working in between horses there alongside Maverick. So here she is, Elizabeth Alexandria. Just pretty much everything right. Consistent hand right, but she never misses a beat. Was striding best of all across the wire. It just looks so impressive in her gallop out. The way that she left the gate, I thought was very, very impressive. Look at the way she just continues to travel there. She is ready for her debut. Just looked tremendous there. Her grand dam is Daring Difference, who earned over $329,000. Jose won the Grade 1 Heritage Place Futurity in 1994 and ran second in another Grade 1 race. May have even run in the All-American Futurity as well. So a very accomplished female family for Elizabeth Alexandria. And to me, the highlight of that workout is the way she left the gate. Just flew out of there.
Yeah, she did. And, she looks like she's got that frame that she's going to enjoy more distance for sure, based on how she was moving, her size, how she galloped out. So a lot of promise there for Elizabeth Alexandria. I like the name as well. This one owned by Jackpot Farm, paid $30,000 at the Ruidoso Select yearling sale. One more workout here, and this is going to be Fear and Fridays, the inside horse, post number 1. And in this workout, he also was the inside horse. He was tabbed with a 12:30 workout, and this was the best work of 38 this morning. Good break, Professor, good acceleration. Perfectly put his nose in front, and then after that, dueled with the workmate. They both look good. There's plenty of quickness here for Fear and Fridays.
Yeah, and this horse does end up kind of floating inside, but it's because the workmate is kind of coming right onto him. So it has to kind of go inside. It's not a little bit different than when the horses are drifting in, right? This horse they just let him go into a place where I had a nice little running path there. And came away sharply in that work. All in all, I like the work as well. Had a strong gallop out under a light hold there. The breeding from this horse, PYC Fun and Fancy, out of a daughter of the Greatest Stakes winner, Easy Kippa. She won 4 races and earned over $67,000 in her career. I think it's going to be a really nice race between this male, Fear and Fridays, and Elizabeth Alexandria, breaking from post number 5.
Yeah, the dam has produced 2 winners from 2 starters, so both foals have been winners. One of them was a debut winner. So there is some winnerly pedigree for Fear and Fridays. So those are the workouts, some of the workouts to highlight. You can watch every single one of these gate workouts available to you at your convenience at losalamitos.com. While we're on the topic here, let's close out the card, Professor. James S. Smith Memorial Handicap, race number 9, 350 yards here for this quarter horse stakes event. We do have a field of 8, and the morning 9 favorite draws the outside post. That's ready for it. We just finished second in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Winter Derby.
The winner of that race, BP Cartel Policy, also posted the fastest qualifying time to the Winter Derby and then came back and ran another lights-out race, but ready for it. Won his trial from start to finish and ran a very, very solid race, second best in that Grade 1 race, the Winter Derby. You got to remember as well that this horse won a small stakes during his juvenile year, the California Breeders' Freshman Stakes, full brother to Up and Atom, a horse that we really like as well, and is a Greatest Stakes winner here at Los Alamitos, ready for it, has experience, so much quickness leaving the gate. I think it's going to be pretty tough in the James Smith Memorial Handicap, a $30,000 race at 350 yards.
Yeah, I just love this pedigree. I've been a big fan of Up and Adam, Professor. I think he's been on my tickets every single time. And look, Junior's Quarter Horses really loves the Dr. Red All Red Brolines. They get involved with the Quirky babies. They get involved with the Up and Adam Up for It babies. They paid $162,000 for this nicely bred 3-year-old, and he's delivered some very good performances. And it looks like he might just get better as a 3-year-old. So if he makes a mistake, Professor, who's the other one? Who's the one that you think could step up and give a challenge if the 8 makes a mistake from the outside post?
Well, we have some horses with experience in stakes races in Winner's Share and Envy Royal Papacito, but I'm kind of intrigued with the 4, Jose, Tres Toledo, a horse that is coming off of a troubled 4th place finish in the maiden stakes trial. Before that, won a couple of races here at Los Alamitos, a nice allowance victory over Sneaky Kid, who is also part of this race. 12-1 for Tres Toledo. The thing that I like is Oscar Peinado and Eddie Willis. They are a lethal combination, win at about 30% of the time in their careers together here at Los Alamitos Racecourse. I think Tres Toledo has a chance, also very quick out of the gate. But again, it's a pretty solid field. Winner Share, Envy Royal Papacito, Relief Factor has run some really nice races at longer distances as well. But I'll go ahead and I'll roll the dice there with Tres Toledo at 12-1. Again, the big favorite there, number 8, Ready For It. Who do you think has a chance to upset the big favorite?
I'm on Team Phillies, the only Philly in the field. CD Ducks Candidata on the rail. Okay. She was a nice debut winner. She followed up with a nice win in that allowance. Then she had trouble and excuses both in the Holiday Handicap and in that Derby trial back on January 27. So those races, she had legitimate trouble, hopped at the start off slow, got bumped, and pretty much eliminated in that BP Cartel Policy trial. And then she came back with a very sharp win, I thought, back on March 10th. She did get bumped at the start, kind of sideways on her hind end, but she still kept the task and she won nicely. I just like the way she's doing it. Now, it's a much tougher test, but if she's able to break well from that inside post, I think she's an interesting price at 8-1 on the morning line.
The 3 Jose favorite one is a stablemate of Tres Toledo, coming off of 2 nice victories, including winning over Winner Share. Last out, her 2 wins have been at 300 yards. When we've seen him run at 400 yards, that's not fair as well. Again, this is a 350-yard race, but favorite one, coming off of some nice wins. We'll see if this race was at 300 yards, maybe had enough quickness there to kind of keep up with Relief Factor, but still 10-1. And like you mentioned, there's some nice prices here. CD Docs Candidata at 8-1, favorite one at 10-1, Tres Toledo, who I like, at 12-1. I like them just as much as I do the 6-1 shots, which are Winner Share and Envy Royal Papacito.
Yep. So without a doubt, Ready For It is a horse to beat. If he runs his race clean break from the outside post, he's going to be very, very tough. But if he makes a mistake, it could open it up for a price here to round out the card on Saturday night. All right, Professor, approximate post time here for Saturday, do you know?
6:35 p.m., Jose. So big day at Santa Anita. With the running of the Santa Anita Derby. A couple of horses that we saw here at Los Alamitos during the winter meet are going to be part of the field. Winstock, who won the Los Alamitos Futurity for Ed Allred and Jack Liebau. He's part of the Santa Anita Derby field as a Stronghold, who ran second in that race, then went to Sunland Park and won a nice race there as well. Comes back here. The favorite is a Bob Baffert horse. I believe it's Intelligence is the name of that horse, right?
Yes, so Baffert will be well represented in that spot. Winstock trying to win another futurity, just like he did. Another stakes event, just like he did here at Los Al for Liebau and Allred. So that's going to be the highlight of Saturday across town in Santa Anita. They'll have a big card with plenty of undercard stakes event, including the Oaks, and we'll be following our Los Alamitos action after the conclusion of the Santa Anita program. All right, Professor, good talking to you. Good catching up. And it looks like weather will be clear for this weekend. We do have a little bit of rain scheduled for us Friday in the Southern California region, but nothing like we had last week.
No, it should be a beautiful evening. If you're in the area, come out and join us here at Los Al. You're going to see some nice 2-year-old races here at Los Al, and of course the James Smith Handicap closing out the card. Looking forward to a good night of racing, good weekend of racing overall here at Los Alamitos, Jose.
For Michael, Chris, Orlando, I'm Jose Contreras. Thank you for joining us on this weekend of Los Alamitos preview show. Check out losalamitos.com for race previews, race recaps, all the workouts for the 2-year-olds, and much, much more. Orlando, thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks so much, Jose. Have a great day.
Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse. The Los Alamitos early and late pick fours. Both wagers continue to feature outstanding pools in 2024 and terrific payouts. The early pick often has pools of over $180,000, and the late pick four often has pools of more than $150,000. And remember, Los Alamitos still offers the $10,000 pick six promo on Sunday nights. Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos. Play them on Saturday and Sunday nights.
Hola, mi nombre es Samuel González, el chef de Besos Club de Los Alamitos. Ahora les voy a hacer un steak con puré de papas y vegetales. Te espero aquí en Los Alamitos.